Hello everybody, my name is Rowena de la Cruz. This is my video presentation for EN210 literature class. I'll be discussing the five sections of our text, which are innocence and experience, conformity and rebellion, culture and identity, presence of death, and love and hate. Literature means written work with artistic value. True, majority of the society may have experienced an event, but individuals differ greatly in their interpretation of such event, and collectively those are literature. Human experiences translated into written or verbal language for the current and future generation. For conformity and rebellion, I chose Letter from Birmingham Jail by Martin Luther King Jr. Although I did not experience racism and injustice firsthand, but I have witnessed social ratification committed on superficial basis. Saddening it may be, some facet of history cannot be undone. But through powerful masterpieces like Luther's open the eyes of the posterity to proclaim that all are equal and everybody is entitled to their own rights. And so, this shapes us to be dignified people charged with decision whether to conform or to revolt. In culture and identity, I chose Moses Carl Holman, his poem Mr. T. Most society have more and more adapted to the Western civilization. Sadly, is not only good and traits we are taking part of, but also its way of life, of living. Unfortunately, to some, this means forgetting altogether or part of their heritage, in the hope of starting anew. Here on Guam, it is no exception. There are families who are willingly disregard the glory of ancestry of their forefathers. Yes, it's always good to change for the better, especially if it's the result of advancement of oneself. But it does not mean that we have to forsake where we came from. We should not aim for the remark in the poem's last line. One of the most distinguished of his race, it is the embodiment of the deception that we are indulging ourselves with all along. And I'll be honest, I'm also guilty of this because none of my children know how to speak my language. And as I got older, I realized that we should be proud of who we are, no matter what other people think, and we should not forget where we came from. For the presence of death, I chose Catherine Ann Porter, The Jilting of Granny Weatherall. The story starts with a scene that features the old lady on her deathbed, and she has flashback of all the major events in her life that matter that made her into the person that she is. The author made use of her dying moments as an exposition of herself, her children, and her lover, all the troubles she faced, and all the achievements she received. Death is an unavoidable event that will happen to every living thing on this planet. Many view death as a fearful and tragic event, and some view it as, I quote, a better place to be. While reading the jolting of Granny Weatherall, I cannot help but wonder if that is the way I want to die slowly and have flashback and recollect all my life experience while I'm dying, or die instantly. That is a subject I try to avoid because I don't want to think I will leave my children behind by themselves and nobody to take care of them. When a good friend of mine passed away and her husband died also 3 months earlier and left the three children to care for themselves, my whole concept of dying changed. I saw how the children were struggling without parents in their life, and the children was so shocked and disbelieved that such a tragic experience happened, losing both parents in less than 3 months. It was heartbreaking to watch. I know that is something we cannot avoid, and I know that is something that will happen to everybody. It's just a matter of who goes first. And the last topic I will discuss is love and hate. I chose the work of Kate Chopin, The Storm. Before making assumption that infidelity is the common theme, let us clarify the fact that the short narrative not only focuses on the character's unfaithfulness, but also on a lot of issues. As for the general thought on the state of society, infidelity may be one of the most enduring conflicts in relationship to marriage. Still, Chopin's masterpiece also covered feminine independence, as demonstrated by her female characters. Before right of women are limited, so are their opportunities. But now, left and right, you will see women rising to power in their careers, achievement, and contribution. I myself is an example. I have to overcome a lot of obstacles to get where I'm at right now. I was a teenage mother, got married young, and end up a single parent. My children had to face the fact that they are growing up without a father figure. But despite all that, I managed to get myself together and raise my children the best way I could and have an inspiring career as a teacher. Before I end my video presentation, I would like to take this time to give a big shout out to my group member, Anthony Chaco, Crystal Chaco, and Gemma the Twin. You guys made our group project fun and exciting, and I really enjoy having you guys in my group. And even though we never really met except for Crystal, it seems like I have known you guys for a while. Once again, thank you and happy holiday to everybody. And for Miss B, thank you for making this online class exciting and fun. You made the class worth taking. Thank you and be safe, everybody. Happy holiday. I will start with The House on the Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros for innocence and experience. The House on the Mango Street set a tone of a child at first being overwhelmed from moving yearly. This story seems as if a young child who has moved many times in her life growing up. This story is something I can relate to because I moved to Guam from the Philippines when I was 9 or 10 years old, and being young and moving to a new place is something I did not understand at the time. My family did not just move to another neighborhood, but my family moved to another country, so the adjustment was very overwhelming and confusing because everything was different: the environment, the culture, especially the language. I had to learn how to speak English and learn the culture quickly.